Hello, my name is Pilar Cama and this is 3098 Lima Toastmasters Club. And today we have an interesting interview with someone who is going to show us how to make pronunciation the key of a better proficiency in English. She is Miss Rozz Vargas. Welcome, Rosalia. How are you?
Thank you very much, Pilar. Thank you for your invitation. I'm really glad to be here.
Oh, we are really glad that you are here. Rosalia, we always talk about, English as a second language is a challenge because we live in a 24-hour environment, Spanish environment.
That's true. So if you want to learn English efficiently, you have to be exposed to the language as much as you can. And as you say, living in a monolingual environment doesn't really help.
That's true. But maybe this question sounds redundant, but I have to do it because many people, our followers, want to know what's the importance of pronunciation.
Well, it is paramount. It's the first impression you give. As I always say, people usually ask, do you speak English? Not do you write English or do you read English? So the first thing people want to know is if you can convey messages in English in oral way. I mean, that's the most important thing.
Yes. So maybe for our followers, you can post your questions here in our wall,
Yeah,
and
of course.
Miss Rozz Vargas is going to answer. So yes, so pronunciation is key in your communication, but maybe for us, for Peruvian people, for all the people who speak English as a second language, do we have to? What is it important sounding as a native speaker?
Not necessarily. What you need to do is to sound intelligible. That's the key. And Adrian Underhill, the person that I admire and I studied with, and I had a lot to study with, created this concept of comfortable intelligibility, which means that English does not have to be an effort for you to speak or for other listeners to decode. As long as you're intelligible, as long as people can understand you, that's fine. I think that accents are a matter of choice, right? Are more personal, but are not really key.
Yes. So maybe for our followers, Blanca Reboredo, Martín Olivares, yes. Thank you for joining us, and let's keep on talking about pronunciation. For example, we don't have to sound as native speakers,
No.
but still, in Spanish we have 5 vowel sounds.
Right.
And how many sounds do we find in English?
Well, not necessarily 5. As a matter of fact, in English we have 5 written vowels.
Okay.
But we have 12 monophthongs, right? 12 monophthongs and 11 diphthongs. And those sounds are present in different writings and different spellings. So they could be attributed to different written vowels. So we don't have, in English, what you see is not what you get, as in Spanish.
Yes, and I think that is a big part of our problem, of our challenge, maybe, to speak English fluently.
That's right.
Yes. So how can we deal with this challenge?
Yeah.
We need some tools.
Yes. In the 20 years that I have been a teacher, I discovered that the traditional method of listening and repeat doesn't really work. And the reason is that how can students repeat something that they don't know how to do? They don't know how to articulate.
Yeah.
So another way, and I think a more effective way to deal with pronunciation is, first of all, reconnecting with the physicality of pronunciation. Pronunciation is a motor skill. It involves our bodies, our mouth, our tongue, our lungs, our diaphragm.
Wow.
So that's the most important thing. Try to change the settings we have to speak in Spanish to those of English. And of course, it's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight. But with the help of this chart,
wow,
yes, which is
the most important,
the prompt chart,
tool. Yes,
we can make it happen. We can allow students to recognize the sounds, yes, but not only to parrot the sounds.
To repeat and repeat.
Exactly, but to actually show them how to make the sounds.
And understand them.
Exactly, and understand the logic
Because
of this chart. Yes.
Would you please share us at least this first part, because it's very interesting for you, for Martín Olivares, Kainu, Blanca Reboredo. Maybe they want to know how the sounds are produced.
What I use is an approach which allows learners to produce the sound themselves. So I start with some positions, initial positions, like for example this, and I ask my students to smile.
Yes.
Why? Because this sound is produced with your lips spread. So I ask them to smile.
Okay. I am smiling.
And then I ask them to run their voices through it, like, and then the voice has to come through it. It should be Pilar.
Okay.
Do you remember? That's right.
And also those spots, no? Means...
Yeah, exactly. The sound is longer. But the idea is that students themselves discover this sound just by making sure that they have the correct position of the mouth.
Okay.
So they come with the sound, and if the sound doesn't come as you expected, you can redirect. No?
Okay.
So, for example, smile bigger.
Smile bigger.
Right? Yeah, or make it longer, and you can use it. You can use different devices like elongating your hands or some blue tag to convey that this is long, for example.
Yeah.
So that's my initial position, the smile. And then I go to the kiss, because this sound is produced with our lips rounded.
Like
when we give a kiss. And then I ask the same from my students. Run your voice through it, and usually they produce.
Ooh.
That's right. That's what they produce.
Yes.
But it comes from them. I don't say do E and do U. It's something that comes from them. I am just a facilitator for them to discover the sounds.
That's the key.
Exactly.
They have to discover the sounds
themselves.
Naturally.
Exactly.
Because when you repeat from someone who is in front of you, that is not natural.
It's not natural and it's not effective. And with those initial positions for the vowel sounds, like the smile and the kiss, then you can construct the whole system of the vowels, pure vowels. Yes. It's hard work.
Yes.
It takes time, but it pays off, because students are able to be autonomous.
That's the key.
They don't need a teacher, for example, to figure out the pronunciation in a book or in a dictionary. They can use the sounds to pronounce correctly. Yes.
Great. And also for the people who are following us, Blanca Reboredo, Martín Olivares, Kainu, Julio Rojas, Diego Vargas, Isa Hurtado, you only have to... where we can find this chart? Because we have this chart on the internet.
Yes, this is a chart that is available to everyone on the internet.
Yeah.
It's the Adrian Underhill chart.
Yes,
right?
We are gonna share it in the on the post.
Of
so
course.
You are gonna. I'm gonna put the link.
Yeah, you just write Adrian Underhill's Brown chart, and this comes out.
Yeah,
and it's a tool that Adrian Underhill meant to share and to be shared by everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
It's you mentioned Adrian Underhill. Would you please share? Who is Adrian Underhill?
Right. Adrian Underhill is one of the most prominent figures in the ELT world. He has been the president of IATEFL for many years. He's written a book called Sound Foundations, which in a very nice, simple manner explains how to deal not only with the sounds, but also with the whole pronunciation system.
Great. Maybe we can show the book. The book. So the name of the book is
Sound Foundations.
Sound Foundations.
I was very lucky to have received a scholarship to study with Adrian at Oxford University, and that's when he taught us this way of teaching pronunciation, which has to do with taking pronunciation out of the mind stop thinking about pronunciation as something that it can't be done, or something abstract, and take pronunciation into the body.
Great. And I think that's the best way to start with pronunciation.
Yes.
Also from the basic stages.
Absolutely. I would say the most important are the basic stages, because once students get used to a certain type of pronunciation that maybe not be correct, it's very difficult to correct. They become fossilized errors. So the sooner the better. The sooner you start working with these,
yes,
the better.
Yes. And maybe you notice that my accent is kind of American and she has a British accent. So we have maybe to for the people who are following us, it's important that you first of all feel natural when speaking.
Absolutely.
Yes.
My British accent comes partly from my education and partly from choice, from a personal choice.
Great.
Your American accent probably comes from the fact maybe you've lived in the States.
Yes, I lived States. I had to communicate a lot with American people. That's why I have this accent.
You picked it up.
Yes.
Right? You picked it up, and that's you, because it's related to your experiences.
Yeah.
And British English is me because it's related to my experiences, not only professional but emotional experiences as well. So
that's true, and also that takes me to another question. It's possible that, for example, I think if someone is eloquent in their native language, can we transfer those abilities to a second language?
Absolutely.
So the opposite is also true. If you are not fluent in your native language, it's very difficult to be eloquent in another language.
It is. This helps a lot. I mean, if you're confident with your pronunciation, it may not be perfect, because that's not what we want. It's impossible to be perfect. Even native speakers don't speak perfectly. They have imperfections, and they do sounds in different ways sometimes. So perfection is not important as long as you're confident with your pronunciation, no matter how imperfect it is, as long as you are intelligible and aware of the fact that you need to improve it, then yes, I think it's possible to transfer, as you say, those abilities into the English language.
Yes,
realm.
And I think that's part of our educational system.
Yes.
needs to get these tools, because also in Spanish we don't have the same awareness about sounds that we have in a second language.
Yes. Maybe it's because of the fact that in Spanish, what you see is what you get. So you don't need a transcription.
Yeah, that's true.
But in English, yes, it is absolutely necessary, because an A, for example, that is written could have, I don't know, this sound, or this sound, or this sound. In Spanish, pretty much, very much simple.
So, well, we are going to share the phonemic chart by Adrian Underhill with you. And also, I was thinking about very important. So, public speaking, which is something that here in Toastmasters we practice and exercise. Public speaking is something that maybe can be an ability to close the learning process, no? Because as an English teacher, we are focused on writing, reading, speaking, and listening. But maybe sometimes we forget. We take it for granted, the public speaking.
Absolutely. Usually what it's done in the classroom is pair work, group work, students reporting their findings or sharing their sentences. But I think that something that is really important is to make a presentation, a final presentation for the whole class, because as you say, it consolidates learning. I try to work in projects with my students in which they have a final presentation. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 3 to 5 minutes. They talk about something that they really like, perhaps using some of the language from the cycle. But I think I totally agree with you. I think it's really important to consolidate and, as you say, wrap up the whole lesson, the whole cycle with a small presentation. And then you can see the abilities of the students at play.
Yes, and also when you feel comfortable speaking in a second language, you will be comfortable in your native language. Because sometimes we as teachers, we ask, is there any question? And here is some culture. I think it's some cultural thing about Peruvians. We never ask.
Yes, I think it's because our system, our educational system, traditional education system, doesn't encourage asking questions or perhaps questioning the teacher, which is important. I mean, why do I have to believe what a teacher tells me?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, why do I have to believe it per se? So questioning the teacher, asking questions, talking to the teacher face to face, it's something that is not encouraged in our culture. No?
Yes.
There's just a mixture of too much respect for the teacher, but at the same time, there's this thing that if I open my mouth and I say something wrong, my teacher will punish me.
Yes,
right.
I think that's part of educational system. Something that we have to change. You know, the punitive aspect of the mistakes. We have to welcome the mistakes. It's the only way to learn.
Of course, that's right.
Wow. So, wow. Isa Hurtado, well, she says greetings, saludos, Isa.
Hi, everyone.
Diabetes del Perú, Adiper. Wow. Anabel de la Cruz. Thank you very much for following us. And of course, we want to know more about you because you are a teacher. You are specialized in English pronunciation. But also, I know many people who are following us now. In some way, well, English is not a language anymore. English is a tool. Yes, right. It's a global code. So now, maybe in the past, English was kind of elite.
Yes,
no?
That's
but
right.
Today, you have to speak. There is no way.
It's a must.
Yes, it's a must.
And the candidates that go to interviews and that are chosen for the jobs speak English, but they speak English well. And that's the difference now. Everybody speaks English right now, but do you speak it well?
Oh, you are, wow. Yes, that's a good, and also, I think this is part of our responsibility as teachers. We have to take care of our English, and this is a never-ending process.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I think that's great.
Well, what can be greater than learning every day?
Yes.
If you're a teacher, I think by definition you love learning.
So you as a teacher, be responsible for keeping your English polished and beautiful. because when we make mistakes as teachers, we are spreading that misinformation to our students, and that's not fair.
Yes, you can always make mistakes in the classroom, but it's important that when you realize you've made a mistake, because we are human, when you realize that you've made a mistake with your students, recognize it and say, well, yesterday I said, for example, clothes. Well, it's not the right pronunciation. The right pronunciation is clothes. I think it's one of the pieces of advice that I received early in my career was that you should never be afraid to correct your mistakes in front of the classroom and to explain to students that you perhaps were not aware, and you will do some research or give the right answer the next class.
Yes, and I'm sure the students learn faster and they will never forget that.
Exactly.
Yes. Wow. So, wow. Greetings for David Del Pozo, Maria Mercedes. Thank you very much for joining us. And one question I want to know, maybe for people who want to become English teacher, how did you take the decision to become an English teacher? I know it's
it was actually an accident. I became a teacher of an accident, but it was a happy accident.
Wow!
Because I was studying. I finished literature at San Marcos University, but halfway through my studies at university, I retook English because I had learned English at school. So I decided to retake it. I discovered that my passion for the language was still there. I've always loved English. And one day I had a message from Britanico, which is where I work, Britanico Language School, telling me that I had passed my FCE with an A. And they invited me to follow a course, an ELT course. And I didn't see myself as a teacher, to be honest. But it was my mother who encouraged me.
Wow.
She told me, maybe you discover something that you like, and if you don't like it, well, you won't miss anything. And so it went that I finished the course, and I discovered that not only had I a passion for learning, but also for teaching. And in the years to come, that passion was confirmed. I really love teaching.
Wow. So for the people who want to become English teachers, maybe they have to feel it. No, you feel it in your heart.
Yes, it's absolutely true. I
Yes.
mean, once you get in touch with all the things that teaching involves,
Because teaching, well, being a teacher is challenging, but it's fulfilling too.
it is. It is very demanding. You have to build rapport with your students, which is the most important thing, in my opinion. You can learn techniques later, but important thing is to be there, convey the message, have great rapport with your students, and transmit your knowledge and share your knowledge, which is really nice.
That's key. That's key. When you enjoy your students succeed. Wow.
Yes, that's right.
That's nothing compares to that.
No, that's what they call emotional salary.
Yes, the emotional salary. So, well, dear Rosalia, it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining us. But please tell us maybe, well, our followers want to know more about you, where we can find you. Are you delivering a workshop?
Right. Well, as Pilar mentioned, my name is Rosalia Vargas, and I'm a teacher and teacher trainer at Britanico Language School. Recently, Britanico offered a workshop for pronunciation for teachers as part of their external program for teachers, and I was in charge. I was very lucky to be in charge of that course. It was 4 Saturdays, 2 hours each Saturday. That's where I met Pilar, which is a great thing. You can share your expertise, you can share your knowledge, and at the same time meet wonderful people, make new friends. I'm not sure if there's going to be a second workshop, but Britannico usually posts the updates.
But also you deliver private classes, private conferences?
Not at the moment. I'm working for Britannico full time in that I prepare conferences for them, workshops for ELT, and I also teacher train.
Wow.
I do workshops for our ELT students.
Great. So in any way you can contact Miss Rosalia Vargas in LinkedIn.
Yes, that's right.
And well, I'm sure that people want to know more about pronunciation because it's key to a good level of communication. And so maybe that's going to be in another session. Please join us.
Of course.
Next time.
Whenever you like, anytime.
Oh, thank you very much, Rosalia.
Thank you, Pilar.
And thank you, our dear followers. And I hope you join us next time here in Lima 3098 Toastmasters Club, where the leaders are made live from Peru, the capital of the Incas Empire. So please just join us in our fan page, 3098 Lima Toastmasters Club, and just register your name to attend our sessions every Thursday from 12:30 to 2:30. You can find us and live the Toastmaster experience. See you next session.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.